it's been nearly 1 year since President Donald Trump has been in the White House. Before he was elected, then candidate Trump outlined 4 pro-life promises. Let's review what those were. In a letter to pro-life leaders, candidate Trump said he would nominate pro-life justices to the U.S. Supreme Court, sign into law the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, defund Planned Parenthood, and make the Hyde Amendment permanent law. The woman who spearheaded candidate Trump's pro-life coalition was Marjorie Dannenfelser, president of the Susan B. Anthony list. You see her regularly on this program. We sat down with Marjorie Dannenfelser to assess Trump's pro-life actions so far. Take a look. Year in review, looking back, what has been the biggest pro-life accomplishment and what's been the biggest disappointment?
Well, I have to say the Neil Gorsuch nomination and confirmation was #1 without question. We had been arguing in the election. This was a generational change one way or the other. So his being inaugurated, or his being sworn in, forgive me, was just a banner day. Second, I'd say the money that we have taken out of abortion and international family planning and international health dollars has had a dramatic effect around the world. We get thank yous from Africa all around the world saying just by refraining from promoting abortion and undermining laws around the world has been a catalyst for a big change around the world. So that's been fantastic. And I know viewers here know that it was a change from a good amount of money under Bush, like $600 million, to withdrawing $8 billion worth of that money. That changes things. That amount of money changes things in a pro-life direction and against the culture of death internationally.
What about disappointment? Has there been anything you wish would have happened by this year that just hasn't?
Well, the disappointment is actually related to one of the positives. The disappointment is that Planned Parenthood isn't defunded yet. But there's been a lot of, just to accentuate the positive a little bit here, right. We have major advancements. They're under federal investigation. We've got all kinds of setups towards defunding, but we really had hoped to have done it by now. If it weren't for one vote in the health care bill, we would be talking about how fantastic we would have permanent Hyde, protecting taxpayer funding from abortion, and we would have defunding Planned Parenthood. So that would be the biggest disappointment, but we're moving ahead.
And that brings me to my next question. What role does Congress play in forwarding and advancing those pro-life promises that Trump made as a presidential candidate?
Well, I think it's been entertaining at a minimum, but exciting at the best to watch Trump and Pence's relationship with the Congress, making sure that the agenda, the pro-life agenda, is on track. Pence has been a fantastic spokesman for that, and Trump has as well. In the Congress, the Speaker and the leader have to be completely committed to advancing the pro-life agenda. Otherwise, it simply doesn't happen. That's just how it works. Those two, Speaker Ryan and Leader McConnell, are indeed that. The problems that we have are in the shortage of numbers in the Senate and getting through some of the things that we have put as a top priority.
Elections matter.
Indeed.
President Trump hasn't spoken publicly about pro-life issues too much this year, but I know you've been involved in lots of different meetings at the White House. What indications has he given you that he supports the pro-life movement? What are those signals?
I think my favorite conversation I had with him was at dinner a few weeks ago. It was in September, so whenever that was. And he asked about why Senator Collins and Murkowski never bring up Planned Parenthood to him when they're talking about the health care bill, because he says, well, of course they care about it. And I'm like, yeah, they care about it. And I said to him, and he agreed, it's because he has made this a non-negotiable. Health care will not pass unless defunding Planned Parenthood and reallocating those resources are in it. He's very well aware of what his commitment has established on the Hill as a non-negotiable. This is a first in any presidential, in any presidency and any Congress. So behind the scenes, yes. I don't think we can ever forget that last debate too, where he made clear to the world what the contrast was between him and the other side.
The difference was stark there.
Yeah.
Looking forward, what needs to be the pro-life priority for 2018?
Well, every single second of our workday is really embroiled in the 2018 Senate races. It is top priority. We have to increase our margins in the Senate so that when we have these squeaker of a votes, that we've got a buffer, that we've got at least 1 or 2 extras when we have a 50-50 vote. We're also trying to reach closer to that 60-vote filibuster-proof margin so that we get close enough, then we can kind of log roll through the rest and get a filibuster-proof majority, which we need in the Senate. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to do some important things like pass the paying capable bill, that 20-week bill.
Finally, Marjorie, as a pro-life leader, what pro-life rating would you give the Trump administration for 2017?
I'm going to give them an A. With expectations that within the next year we need to get to A+. We started out A+ in the election in terms of the commitments. We need to get Planned Parenthood defunded and that Hyde Amendment made permanent. So, you know, A+ is perfection. We've got A.
We'll keep moving forward. Marjorie Dannenfelser of the Susan B. Anthony List, thank you.
Thank you, Catherine.